In the heart of London's gritty East End, winter 1982 settled over the city like a shroud of despair. Cracked pavements glistened under feeble streetlights. Ragged figures hunched against biting winds. Closed shop fronts wore faded warnings of "keep out." Here, amid the diesel haze and graffiti-scarred walls, Brian Robinson honed his reputation as one of the underworld's most meticulous planners. Quiet, dark-eyed, and impossibly calm, Robinson had built his career on small-time burglaries and precision getaway drives. But as the city's gold trade boomed, a more audacious idea began to take shape in his mind, one that would eclipse every crime he'd ever orchestrated. Before I walk you through the full story, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments, what city are you watching from? It's always amazing to see how far this audience is reaching. Robinson's target was the Brinks Mat Depot, located on a forgotten industrial spur near Heathrow Airport. Rumors among London's criminal network painted it as impregnable. 10-foot walls topped with barbed wire, motion sensor alarms monitored round the clock, and vault doors machined to NATO armament standards. Yet inside sat a treasure far richer than mere cash. Gold bullion under the custodianship of some of the world's most powerful banks. Word was that a single vault contained more wealth than most nations' treasuries. To breach such a fortress, Robinson knew he needed two things: absolute precision and an insider. That insider arrived in the form of Anthony Black Jackson, a security guard whose debt-ridden life made him ripe for persuasion. Black patrolled the Brinks Mat perimeter with clockwork regularity, shift changes at 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., patrols every 15 minutes, vault doors open twice a day for brief inventory checks. Over several clandestine meetings in derelict pubs and shadowed alleyways, Black fed Robinson exact blueprints, guard schedules, CCTV blind spots, and vault door mechanisms. In return, Robinson promised to settle Black's debts and more. With Black's intelligence in hand, Robinson assembled his inner circle. Michael McAvoy, his trusted lieutenant, handled weapons and logistics. Dale Tips Fitzgerald, an ex-boxer, provided muscle. Vernon Specs Harris, the electronics wizard, would disable alarms, plus 3 others versed in driving, disguise, and fast talk. Each man was sworn to secrecy, bound by blood oaths, and loyalty born of shared danger. In an abandoned warehouse on the Thames's East Bank, they rehearsed the operation for 6 weeks. A rusted vault door, exactly stolen from a scrapyard, stood in one corner, its combination lock drilled open and studied in excruciating detail. Specs rigged motion sensor mock-ups. McAvoy practiced vault drills. Robinson timed each step with a stopwatch. 32 seconds to secure the guards, 18 seconds to unlock the vault, 45 seconds to load each stash of valuables. Every route in and out was mapped with sweepstakes precision. Narrow service corridors, side doors pre-oiled for silent operation, back alleys leading to nondescript vans. Their cover story was equally polished. During the day, Robinson and McAvoy posed as security consultants, strolling the depot's perimeter in neat suits and clipped accents, binoculars dangling from their necks. They quizzed guards on shift routines, chatted up maintenance workers about faulty lighting, and noted where cameras could be looped or temporarily blinded. Each whispered snippet became another piece in their meticulously constructed puzzle. Meanwhile, Robinson quietly secured vehicles: an unmarked white panel van with false registration plates and a hidden compartment built into its floor, plus 2 fast getaway cars, one black Jaguar for high-speed stretches, one battered Ford for blending with city traffic. Cash-for-cash payments to Black were disguised as consulting fees, deposited in offshore accounts under shell company names. Every financial trail was laundered through cutouts and nominee directors. On the evening of November 25, 1983, the final pieces fell into place. Black confirmed the 7 a.m. vault opening time and assured the team that guard rotations would create a silent window, an 80-second gap during which no patrol overlapped. That night, Robinson and McAvoy met Black one last time at a deserted loading dock, each man's breath forming misty clouds in the frosty air. They exchanged nods, checked weapons, and slipped into the shadows, hearts steeled for what came next. As dawn approached, the Brinks Mat Depot stirred to life. Guards clocked in, security cameras pivoted into position, floodlights glared across steel fencing. Beneath the watchful eyes of the law, a small crew of criminals prepared to defy every expectation of safety and secrecy. They had rehearsed, planned, and bribed every safeguard, and now, for better or worse, they were ready to find out whether their audacious scheme would vault them into legend, or doom them to an ignominious failure. As the first pale light of dawn crept across the Brinks Mat Depot's high walls, Brian Robinson and his team slipped into position with military precision. Black Jackson, the insider, had already disabled a section of the perimeter alarm 30 seconds before the shift change, allowing Robinson and McAvoy to scale the fence without triggering motion sensors. Fitzgerald and two others, masked, gloved, and blade-ready, moved silently along the catwalks, dispatching the night guards with plastic ties and gauze padding presses until their captives lay unconscious, breathing but unaware. Inside the compound, Vernon Specs Harris worked at a knockoff CCTV control panel, looping the feed on key cameras and switching others to blank screens. His gloved fingers danced over the keyboard, toggling wires, reassigning power, and muting the telltale click of relay switches. At precisely 32 seconds after Black's final handshake, Robinson and McAvoy were inside the vault room. The vault door stood before them, an intimidating monolith of steel nearly a foot thick. Robinson's heart pounded as he placed tempered steel wedges between the hinges, preventing any inward swing. McAvoy inserted a custom-made drill into the lock's access port, its bits spinning in regulated bursts to avoid overheating. Robinson monitored his stopwatch. At 18 seconds, the mechanism yielded a soft click. He activated a slim capping magnet to hold the door's bolt mechanism open, and the two men stepped inside. They worked with a choreographed urgency. Robinson and McAvoy split tasks. Robinson pried open lockers 101 through 108, while McAvoy handled 109 through 117. Each gold ingot weighed exactly 12 kilograms, each one stamped with assay markings that shimmered like sunlit water. Robinson lined them along the floor, grouping them into heavy canvas bags equipped with roller bearings. With practiced ease, McAvoy shoved in bundles of newly minted banknotes, hundreds and fifties, snipped from bespoke shrink-wrapped pallets. Every piece reflected in the vault lights as if mocking the law's impenetrability. Behind them, Fitzgerald and his two accomplices loaded the pre-rigged panel van. The floor compartment yawned open, a rectangular maw precisely sized for 6 full bags of bullion. Across the yard, their getaway cars idled, the black Jaguar's engine a silent purr, the battered Ford's rumble disguised by a muffler tuned for lack of decibels. Specs monitored audio feed sensors, listening for the telltale hiss of hydraulic lifts or the distant clang of metal, and tapped his earpiece. 40 seconds left. Wrap it up. At 45 seconds, bags sealed and vault lockers resealed to avoid suspicion, Robinson triggered the magnetic cap. The vault door's bolts groaned shut with a muted finality. McAvoy replaced the drill with a precision plate to cover the access port. Nearby, Black Jackson moved to the watchtower, jabbed a red alert reset on the perimeter console, and slipped off a white canvas work glove to reveal his bare hand. He swiped across the motion detector pad, leaving no residue. Moments later, Robinson and his partner emerged, their faces masked but eyes fierce. They doused the control panel with a quick, dry, industrial spray that left a fine, temporary haze over the CCTV lenses. In the ensuing seconds, the cameras recorded nothing but drifting particles. Fitzgerald signaled, and the masked trio hauled the final bags to the fence. Once inside, they climbed down carefully, handed each bag over in swift, practiced motions, and vanished over the barrier. Outside, the panel van's hidden compartment hissed closed, sealing its precious cargo. Robinson vaulted the fence last, checking each strap and zipper for security. In the darkness, the team convened at a rendezvous point, an unmarked loading dock 2 streets away, where the heavyweight bags were transferred to a refrigerated container on a flatbed lorry disguised as a waste management vehicle. The Brinks Mat crew melted into traffic. The Jaguar took the motorway north, the Ford headed east into quieter boroughs, and the lorry rumbled south toward a clandestine docks warehouse. By 8 a.m., the depot's first shift guards discovered the eerie calm. Unresponsive cameras, locked vault doors, and empty locker frames. Panic surged through control rooms as frantic calls crackled over police radios. Sirens wailed and armored unit officers scrambled, only to find their prize gone, as though swallowed by the earth. Meanwhile, Robinson's crew executed the final phase of their plan. At the docks warehouse, they offloaded gold and cash into vacuum-sealed crates, placed them in a shipping container bound for Antwerp, and watched the manifest, bearing innocuous cargo listings, seal their loot behind sealed steel doors. Back in East London by midday, Robinson slipped into his gray business suit, blending into lunchtime crowds outside shipping yard cafes. He met Black Jackson at a nondescript cafe under the guise of discussing next quarter security enhancements. Over lukewarm tea, Black counted crisp envelopes of unmarked notes. His price paid in full. Robinson nodded, his expression unreadable, before standing and disappearing into traffic. In the days that followed, investigators combed the Brinks Mat site for clues, CCTV hard drives, fingerprints, forensic residue of the spray, but everything led to dead ends. Shoreline docks had no record of unusual container movements. French authorities reported no anomalies in incoming shipments. The Belgium port manifest, filed under a shell corporation, offered no leads. Meanwhile, the gold bars began to surface on the black market, laundered through Swiss banks, melted into jewelry, and traded for millions in legitimate currency. Inside Scotland Yard, a special task force formed, Operation Midas. Detectives pored over insider leads. Black Jackson's disappearance, the van's chalk dust traces, the faint throttle signatures on traffic camera recordings. But each thread snapped. International agencies shared photos of the missing gold's assay numbers, yet every ingot trace dwindled in the labyrinth of global finance. For Robinson, however, the heist was more than monetary triumph. It was proof of his own metamorphosis, from small-time burglar to phantom kingpin. Sitting alone in his well-appointed flat overlooking the Thames, he sipped single-malt whiskey while flicking through international newspapers. Front pages still splashed with Brinks Mat headlines. Greatest jewel theft in history. Gold heist shakes British banks. He allowed himself a thin smile. The world would chase shadows while he charted the next chapter of his empire. But as Robinson raised his glass, his phone buzzed with a single SMS, a string of numbers and the letters M17. A coded reminder that the vault door at M17 locker, overlooked in their initial plan, remained untouched. A grudging acknowledgement that even the most flawless orchestration can harbor a last, hidden key. And in that moment, Robinson touched the true pulse of his legend, a master thief forever outwitting both foe and fate, orchestrating the world's most audacious betrayal, yet haunted by the final lock he might one day have to crack. In the weeks that followed the Brinks Mat heist, Brian Robinson's face littered British tabloids and police bulletins, yet he remained ghostly. No mugshot, no arrest warrant photo, no trace on Interpol's watch lists beyond a nondescript, unknown male, mid-30s. Scotland Yard's Operation Midas task force spun into action, dispatching teams to London docks, Heathrow cargo terminals, and the City of London's banking district. They ran license plate recognition sweeps, examined CCTV from every conceivable angle, and even deployed police sniffer dogs trained to detect the odor of gold and firearms. Each lead yielded frustration. An unmarked white van sighted in East Sussex turned out to be a funeral home vehicle. A user on an obscure bullion dealer forum offered to sell Brinks bars for twice market price, but vanished when traced. The task force's frustration grew into desperation as the stolen bullion quietly drifted into global circuits, reforged in Antwerp, recast in Dubai, and traded through Swiss private banks where client confidentiality sealed its fate. But in the digital shadows, two ambitious financial crime detectives, Detective Inspector Amelia Hartley of the City of London Police and Detective Sergeant Imran Nazir of the NCA, discovered a pattern. Unique serial numbers on melted-down gold bars seized in Switzerland matched those on recrystallized bars auctioned through Sotheby's Geneva. More tellingly, a lone set of fingerprints lifted from a melted residue patch in the cellar of a London bullion dealer corresponded to a partial print originally catalogued, then misplaced, in the Brinks Mat investigation. Hartley and Nazir cross-referenced the print with immigration records and traced it to a B. Robinson entry on a 1984 Zanzibar cruise manifest. Armed with this slender strand, they obtained warrants to search Robinson's Leadenhall Market flat. On a rainy morning in March 2001, they stormed the penthouse, finding no gold, no obvious evidence. But in a hidden safe behind a false wall, they retrieved decades-old bank statements, coded ledgers, and a single battered black notebook detailing the Brinksmat operation in Robinson's meticulous hand. Photographs in the notebook matched the warehouse vault door and panel van schematics, complete with stash locations. Robinson was arrested that same day, his calm veneer cracking for the first time in nearly 2 decades. In custody, he offered no confession, only a sardonic smile when shown the notebook's pages. "I suppose I underestimated HMRC," he said quietly. His trial, held at the Old Bailey in summer 2002, drew international attention. Prosecutors assembled exhibits, melted down gold assay samples, bank wire receipts funneled through layers of shell companies, and forensic analysis matching hidden safe documents to Robinson's handwriting. In court, Robinson defended himself with eloquence and poise, arguing that time had rendered these events moot, that every sovereign state should have addressed its own security flaws long before I came along. The jury, however, found his arguments insufficient. In November 2002, he was convicted on 10 counts of theft, fraud, and money laundering, and sentenced to 7 years, lengthy by white-collar standards, but far shorter than anticipated, given his age and health considerations. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.